Gather round as Neive Strang tells us about her new album, Find Me in the Rabbit Hole, and about working with a producer for the first time who happens to be SJD. Here is Neive, direct from Dunedin.
Yeah, so he was living down in Dunedin for a bit. And so when he was down here, we were working together a lot. Um, and that would involve me going around to his house and sort of demoing out the songs that I had written.
Uh-huh.
Um, and that was a really fun process. I'd sort of just take along a song that I had written on guitar and would build it up that way, which was a really fun process because I had never worked with a producer before, and so I
Ah,
hadn't, yeah, and so that was all new to me, but I loved it. I loved having sort of some direction and advice from someone that I really respected, and I love his music, and so I would take it on board. Um, yeah, I was really willing to take it all on board, basically.
okay.
Um,
Yeah. So did you have all the songs that are on the 11 songs that are on the album? Were they written at this point? Did you know which ones they were going to be, or was stuff happening before and after you met up with Sean?
I'd pretty much written. Oh, no, I was still in the writing process. I had some of them I had written, and then some of them I was still writing. So, um, yeah, I basically met him in the writing process of the album. Yeah,
Okay. And
yeah.
this album has a little bit of a different sound and feel than your previous stuff. Is that due to Sean, or was that something you'd planned all along?
I think a bit of both. Definitely just the way they were written. So not writing them um, with a bunch of live instruments around, I think gives them that, and like in a studio setting,
Hmm.
really takes them back to the roots of what they are. And so they're just naturally a little bit more quiet and how they would sound with me writing them in my bedroom, I guess, not
Yeah.
so live.
Right.
Um, and so that's why, in comparison to the release I did before, which is I Am the Ribbon.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, it's like quite different and probably a wee bit more similar to Moonlight, which was, yeah, a bit more similar. Um, yeah, so have I gone way off the question?
Nope. No, you're doing great.
Okay,
The more you're talking and the less I'm talking, the better.
okay, okay, good. But yeah, so I think that's the bit of the reason for the sound. But yeah, so yeah.
Okay. All right. And some of the work was done at Roundhead, was it?
Yeah, so the drums were recorded at Roundhead by Christopher Michael O'Connor.
I
Um,
just saw him last
and
night at the Tate Awards.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, he was great. And I think his drumming really added to the sound as well.
Right. So
Yeah.
the drums were there, but there's like some other kind of basement studio that you worked at. Where was that?
That was
Was
at Sean's house up in
is
Auckland.
Sean's basement?
Yeah. 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 Which he calls Cashmere Studios. Yeah. So
Okay.
that was at his wee home studio. So most of it was recorded there, and then just some vocals and the drums were at Roundhead.
All right. And what is this studio like? Is it like a basement or is it more like a studio?
Yeah, yeah, it is pretty much. It's like here's a two-story, and then it's just in the bottom story, wee room. It is pretty basementy, but he's got it all set up. It's
Right.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice and cozy.
And when you were playing with Dimmer, did that have any influence or on what ended up the way you two worked on this record together because of that? Was one relative to the other somehow?
Uh, Not really. I don't think so.
All right.
Uh, no.
Fair enough.
No.
We'll move on. And the album starts with a song called "A Sweet Dive," which you have done a video for. So why is that the first one on the record? Was it the first one that was written, or is it because needs to be the first one for other reasons?
I don't know where to look. It's not at you. Brushed up against a hill is where I see. Still blows in the ears and sold to you and held like glue. I don't wanna hold back.
I think I've just put that first as honestly because it was my first single, and so I think it was just a nice way to open up the record.
Right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it starts it off on a nice note, and people had heard it maybe before, and so yeah, it's just a nice way to dive into the songs.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
anything you want to reveal about the song itself? I read somewhere where it's kind of inspired by the Catlins or something. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I wrote it. Well, I didn't write it in the Catlins, but I wrote it about a time in the Catlins. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, sort of the visuals takes me back
Oh yeah.
to, yeah, it takes me back to sort of that kind of setting. I don't know if other people will catch on to that, but once they hear that that's where it's set, it might.
All right. And
Hmm.
this, what ha was there anything specific that you want to share about why you had to write a song about it?
Um, oh, it's just such a vivid sort of setting. Like when you're um on the beaches and you sort of look at how the wind so harshly comes off of the sea and like shapes how the trees are so brushed up against the hills.
Right?
That's sort of what is so in my head when I listen to that
Uh-huh.
song. Yeah.
That's
But
very good.
otherwise, yeah, you can take what you want from that
Okay.
song.
All right. We will. And how is the Dunedin scene these days? Do you feel like you're part of something bigger?
Yeah, the Dunedin music scene is thriving in terms of bands and music coming out of it. I
Uh-huh.
don't know if the venues are necessarily
Well,
thriving.
that's a problem everywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, definitely the talent hasn't gone anywhere. Still lots coming out of it.
Okay.
So yeah, I do feel like I'm still a part of a really good scene here.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Another th song maybe we can touch on, which I kind of like there's a little bit more
'Cause things
production-y
changing like
things
it's
going
meant
on
to
is Space Invader.
be. Space invader, space invader. I don't recognize myself in the things you say. Taken out with love in a blinding way. Space invader, no one here to save you. Space invader.
I feel like that production-y stuff that
That's a
really lies
technical
in
term, by the
Sean.
way.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that definitely lies more in Sean's hands.
Okay.
He, yeah, he's really great when it comes to those ideas. Um, we definitely talked about because yeah, Space Invader and sort of the ideas that come from that. I feel like yeah, he basically ran with the inspiration. Yeah, and I feel like a lot came, and I was just like very happy with what came out of it.
Right, right, right. And
Yeah.
and and so things, the little production bits, how do they translate when you do them live? Because it's obviously a very different setting.
Yeah. So I have sort of two, well, the main band I've been playing with down in the South Island, um, which is Joel Field on guitar, Sadie Hewitson on bass, and Andrew Hooray on drums. We've been playing the songs a little bit differently to how they're recorded. just because, yeah, they are kind of hard songs to adapt
Right,
because of
right,
all the little synthy bits and decorative guitar parts and stuff. You just can't have like heaps of people playing them.
right.
And so Joel's done a really good job at just, yeah, being experimental on the guitar and adding in atmospheric bits that way.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
and yeah, and little drum bits and pieces. And when I played up in Auckland recently, I had Sean and Chris play with me, and Chris added in some really cool little atmospheric parts for that song on the drums.
Right, yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
so I think
Yeah.
we're just doing it like that.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. I think my favorite, well, there's a song called "Could Be Mine," which is more of the rocker of the album. I figure would
Yeah.
maybe why I like it. But did you feel like you had to kind of shake up things a little bit in the middle there somewhere?
I'm sleeping all the time, but with you, it's not sinking in your arms with two. Every corner of my mind is in blue. Said you're starting to feel calm, which is new.
Yeah, I think for that one we just really upped the pace of it. Just to like, yeah, that was just to really keep it upbeat and yeah. So all the songs are a bit slow and dreamy and moody, and that one we just like, yeah, up the pace. We dancey one.
All
Yeah.
righty. And it's followed by Try Again, which has like kind of dark, twangy guitar, which you kind of alluded to a little bit before. Who's playing that? Is that Sean? Is that you?
It somehow finds you, tried and true, with a heart half working, plans to follow through, and expects
I think that's a wee bit of a mix. I would have to go back and listen
Okay,
to it specifically because yeah, me and Sean go between the guitars.
I see.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd have to listen to it specifically to know what you're talking about. But I do know the twangy guitar is on that. But yeah, there are so many little parts throughout the
Right.
songs that yeah, yeah.
And overall, putting this record together, putting these songs together, was it fun? Was it intense? What kind of vibe was going on between the two of you in the studio? Was it
It
hard
was a
work?
it was a fun time.
Yeah.
We because it was so spread out over the demoing as well that when it actually came to recording the final tracks, we basically were able to do it in 7 days. I just went up to Auckland. So we knew what we were doing by that point because we had the demo so down.
Right.
Um, but there was still room when it came to the final recordings to change it up. But I guess that was in the mixing stages afterwards. But yeah, no, there was no moments of tension or anything. I don't remember
Okay.
any of
Yeah. That's nice. Everybody's still friends.
yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, no, it was really good. We definitely get along well. A good friendship came out of it.
Excellent. And are you
Yeah.
thinking about what you're going to do next yet, or are you kind of still in the middle of this thing within your own head?
Well, I'm just about to go overseas.
Oh, that's
So
right. I think I saw that you're going to what, UK and Europe?
yes, yeah. And in just a couple of weeks. And that is really just for traveling, but I'm gonna try and get some shows overseas, if I can. So who knows what will come out of that? Hopefully some gigs and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked for some. I see Nadia Reid just announced that she's coming back here to tour the country, and she kind of has done that, set up shop in the UK after
Hmm.
paying her dues here in New Zealand. So there's something to be said for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has just done a lot overseas. That's really cool.
Yep. And if you do some shows, would they just be solo, or do you think you'd pick up some musicians along the way?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not even really taking a guitar, so
Oh,
I'm
okay. That's
just pick up a guitar, let alone some musicians.
they probably have
I
some
know,
guitars over there though.
yeah, I'm hoping someone can lend me a guitar. I know Chris is going to be over there at some point,
Oh, that's
so
cool.
yeah, I'm hoping we can link up for a gig, hopefully. But
All right.
hopefully it can all come together.
If you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.